What you just saw was the world's first drill-powered plywood remote-controlled centipede. Now this project ended up taking about 2 weeks, mostly because the first week I built one, I ended up scrapping it because I didn't think it was going to be fast enough. It would have worked, but I wanted it to be fast and I wanted it to be creepy, so I built it again. Now I recorded a whole bunch of video for that, and rather than letting it go all the waste, here's about 5 hours of video in the next 15 seconds. I'm sorry, Centipede. I have to kill you. I didn't design you right. So on the original Centipede, I had a secondary reduction system from the Worm Gear. Now this is a worm drive system out of a garage door opener. They're made out of a tough nylon plastic. This is the Worm Gear, this is a spur gear. Now for every 16 times that the Worm Gear turns, the spur gear turns 1 time. Now I've used these before in the past, and for some reason I had it stuck in my head that it was a 10-to-1 reduction. This is a good example of you should always check. I spent 4 days building a Centipede that I had to basically kill because I didn't check to see what the reduction was on these. So on the first one, I had this Worm Gear in here, which went to a secondary reduction system, which reduced it 4-to-1. So now I had a 16-to-1 reduction on top of a 4-to-1 reduction, which would have made this very slow and not creepy. So to make this thing as natural and as fluid as possible, I needed to be able to steer that, which means I can't just put a straight shaft all the way down the body, attaching the Worm Gear to the spur gear. I needed it to be flexible, so each segment will turn roughly 30 degrees to the one in front of it or behind it. Now, in order for the shaft to keep continuous motion throughout it, I had to create a type of U-joint, or in this case, a C-joint. So that joint simply slips into the next one in front of it, and when that turns, it can be at an angle to that and keep its rotation. So with the Worm Gears figured out and the C-drive or U-joint figured out, the next step was to just start making all the body parts. Now the first one I built had over 400 individual parts in the build. I wasn't going to do that again, so I redesigned it. Now the second one has about 280 parts in it. That being said, if I didn't have my Avid CNC, I probably would not have tackled this project. It absolutely can be done without one. I wouldn't have tried. So big shout out to Avid CNC. They make an exceptional, super accurate machine, and it's been nothing but a dream to have in the shop. Now that we've got the engineering side of this figured out, it's time to turn up the music and get this thing built. So I designed this Centipede in SketchUp and then ran everything over to VCarve Pro by Aspire, laid out the G-code in VCarve Pro, and then cut it all out with the Avid CNC machine. Now once all of that was done, it was time to work on the mechanics. Now I do have some 1/2-inch pipe that I got from a big box store that I'm using for the drive shafts on this, and that worked really well. Big shout out to Chris from Cambridge Drive Inc. for coming over and helping me do all the body work. It would have taken a lot longer without his help. So the worm drive is captured in between these two stanchions, and there's a pin that goes through the worm drive into the shaft that keeps it stationary. Now as long as those two are captured in there, that worm drive can't move back and forth, which makes the drivetrain stay stationary. I hope that makes sense. After that, it was just a matter of putting all the bodies together, doing a little victory dance, and then adding the remote control components. Now to steer this thing, I'm using two 20-kilogram servos attached from one segment to the other, just in the front 3 of pieces of the Centipede, so I can point the head in one direction and then the rest of it will just follow. Now to connect the the sections, I used some clothes hanger because, you know, that's what you do. So with some garage door opener parts, a couple of sheets of plywood from one of the big box stores, and a little bit of hardware and an inexpensive remote control system bought off Amazon, I've managed to build a 12-legged walking centipede. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the last thing I had to do was throw an 18-volt drill on it to drive it, connect another high-tech servo to the trigger of the drill so when you pulled it, it went forward, and then of course take it out and make sure the kids approve and walk Steve around the neighborhood. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. I really had so much fun with this project. Steve ended up working out absolutely amazing. And if you feel like this video has earned your subscription, would absolutely love to have you subscribe. And if you do decide to do that, hit that little bell notification next to the subscribe button so you get notified when my videos come live. Also, for those of you who've been watching for a while, my channel's going to change a little bit, and it's nothing in a bad way. I really want to focus on making much more quality content, more videos like this, and working on some projects that I've had in the back of my head for years now, but have just kind of put off because they're time-consuming projects, which means a few less videos, so you won't see as many videos on my channel. I'm hoping for 2 or 3 a month. From this point moving forward, at least for a while I do these more epic builds, if you want to call them that. So be looking for those, better quality content, a lot more crazy, fun, just wild projects. So I love all you guys. I really appreciate every one of you that take the time to watch the videos and to comment. And if you have some crazy build that you'd love to see built, I'd love to hear it in the comment section below. It would mean a lot to me. Now Steve was built for a very specific reason. On October 25th, 26th, this month, at Hickory, North Carolina, Klingsport Extravaganza event is happening. And I'm bringing Steve up there. I will be there, and we're going to give Steve away to some lucky winner who will be able to bring him home and use him to scare all the trick-or-treaters come Halloween. So that's really exciting for me, and I hope I get to see a few of you guys there. Details will all be in the description box below this video. And again, thank you so much for watching. We will see you all later.